Well, it happened. Amy Coney Barrett is on the Supreme Court. Barrett was confirmed by a vote of 52 to 48 on Monday evening after Democrats exhausted the procedural maneuvers undertaken to delay her confirmation. That's what CBS said. Personally, I don't even see it. I don't even see the procedural maneuvers. I know that Nancy Pelosi had arrows in her quiver. Were they candy arrows? I don't know, because there wasn't a lot seemingly done. It wasn't even like a series of epic failures to stop her from getting on the court. I honestly don't know what they did. They made a big deal out of the ACA in the hearings. That's about it. JR, I don't know. Yep. Did you see anything else? Any like last ditch, hold the door efforts to stop her from getting on the court?
Yeah, there was like a digital filibuster thing started like I think Sunday and it ran through yesterday, where there was some progressive groups that were organizing, but they got a lot of senators on board and like other folks from other groups to speak for a minute or two at a time, several minutes at a time, to talk about how much this is a disaster and how we need to vote and how we need to pressure Republican senators to vote no in the last second, because that's the tactic we should go with. So again, and I think Cenk mentioned this yesterday because I threw that story onto the main show, but it's I don't blame these progressive groups because that's all they can do at this point. They're not in Congress, they're not senators. It's the senators that have to be the ones that do certain things to actually represent the folks that want them to do these things. So I'm not slamming the idea of them doing this event. It's kind of all they got left because the elected people that may have had some kind of a pull on it didn't do those things.
Yeah. If you were a progressive group that was trying to use this to raise a little bit of money, more power to you. Hopefully the money will help flip Texas and get us a few more seats and all of that. But if you're Chuck Schumer participating in that, implying that doing that is doing your job, no, that's not your job. I know from your point of view, fundraising is the entirety of your job, but that's obviously not enough because she's now on the Supreme Court and she's gonna be on the Supreme Court 20 years after Chuck Schumer has eventually passed away. That is the scope of what we're talking about here. I understand at the end of the day, potentially there was nothing that could have been done to actually stop it, but I don't think that delaying it by literally 1 extra week was outside of the bounds of reason, and they couldn't even do that. And JR, do you have anything else to say about this? I'm just so sick, honestly.
So annoying.
I'm so sick of her and the entire thing.
Yeah, as you said, these things have all been said, if not by you or I or anyone else. It's all kind of been obvious. Yes, something maybe could have been done, number one. Number two, I think there's a certain percentage, I wonder how high that is, of some of these senators that are thinking, well, they can push her through, but that means we'll win. Again, all this is, every election cycle is politicians trying to get their job reinstated again. So that's all that really matters. Yeah, sure, a radical on the Supreme Court, this full slant, this completely hypocritical process, whatever, it's fine. People are gonna hate this and it will be in office. That's why a lot of those statements that they made during that digital filibuster or whatever they called it was get out there and vote. Make sure you show them that we didn't like this and put us in office. That's the end game for many of these politicians. Yeah. It's not to actually stop the things from happening to the American people. It's to let them happen to the American people and then blame one side for doing it so that you can get in office. That's all any of them ever do.
You want a bit of literal end game there for you, and at some point we'll stop talking about the Avengers, but it's not going to be today. Mitch McConnell has reached his end game, basically literally, because Mitch McConnell just adjourned the Senate until November 9th, ending the prospect of additional coronavirus relief until after the election, because neither of two things were true. That he actually cared about the American people, he doesn't. He's off, he doesn't care, or that he actually made the calculation that they needed to pretend to care for the purposes of the election. I understand they're not gonna actually care, but they don't even feel like they have to pretend to care. That is how cowed and whipped the Republican base is. That Mitch McConnell knows he can leave them to suffer and lose their jobs and die and all of that. And he's sure he's gonna get reelected. And he's almost certainly right. He doesn't have to protect any other Republican senators. They don't have to do the bare minimum to pretend that we actually have a representative democracy that's responsive to the actual needs, the most fervent life or death needs of the American people. So he's done, he's gone, he got what he wanted.
And every day every day there should be talk, and well, no, not even saying what Mitch McConnell has done. Ask Americans, maybe the people that are voting for him, be like, how's your life going? How are things happening during COVID, during the pandemic, during this late stage with the lack of relief? How much money you pay in taxes and how much representation you actually get? Now look at what Mitch McConnell is doing. After you say that, say it again. How many times have we heard about this Hunter Biden server and email and computer and all this stuff over and over and over and over again? And after it gets disputed, after it gets shot down, after it gets obviously proven incorrect, they're still talking about it. So imagine if you have truth on your side and you won't stop talking about something that actually hurts your opponent because they're hurting the American people. Not because you're just trying to win, but because it actually hurts the American people. How about we go for that tactic?
Yeah, I'm just so sick of everything having to do with the White House, the Supreme Court, the Senate, most of the House, honestly. How the state legislature is doing. But anyway, look, that's the future of the Supreme Court. Amy Coney Barrett is now the future of the Supreme Court. There are your stakes, by the way, stopping further damage to the Supreme Court. It's already ruined, it's wrecked, it's shattered. But giving Trump a second term and letting him, replace Clarence Thomas or whoever would be like, we wouldn't even have anything to look forward to hypothetically. So in day 2 of stakes week, I think it's being made pretty clear. I don't know if we need to do as much in this area. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.